Okay. Alright, there we go. Alrighty. Let's get some testing done. So, just to kind of cover what I'm doing on this YouTube video, this is not going to be an exciting video. So if you're tuned in hoping for some exciting stuff, then number one, you've apparently missed some of my other videos. I'm not that exciting of a person. And number two, I will be doing some Madden testing for the new franchise for OMFL. I was going to start in the main menu area, but apparently I can't record there, so I'm just going to state for the record that I currently have the speed threshold set at 75, and I'm going to be using the team that I will be using in OMFL, which is the Indianapolis Colts. My fastest receiver that I will have available to me is Paris Campbell and JJ Nelson in practice mode, who are 94 speed. My slowest guy will be, looks like 87 speed with Pittman and Zach Pascal. So what I want to do is, let's see my corner situation. I do not have a corner except for Isaiah Rodgers that can keep up. Oh wait, I got Chris Wilcox. Who's this guy? Must be a new guy. How did I miss him? 6'2" at 93 speed? Oh yeah, thank you. Anyway, digress. So usually my starters are Xavier Rhodes and Rock Ya-Sin because they're the best corners I have. I also have Kenny Moore as an 84 overall, but I typically put him in the slot. But for this little experiment we're going to be doing, I don't have, okay, I might just use Bo Peep keys just because 87 speed. Okay. So what I'm thinking about doing here is, let me go into depth chart. Let's go ahead and flip Eason in there because I like Eason better. It doesn't really matter for this test because I'm not going to be throwing the ball. But what I want to do is I'm going to start Zach Pascal and Paris Campbell. Actually, let's start Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell as my 1 and 2. And then on the other side, we're going to start, my fastest guy will go to the number 1 spot because that'll cover the number 2 receiver. And then my slowest guy, Bo Peep keys, will cover Michael Pittman. If I'm not mistaken, that should be the way it falls out. Alright, so now that my depth chart is set for this little speed test, what we're going to do is we're going to hop into practice mode. Alright, practice mode. And I'm going to put Colts on Colts. And this is not going to be an exciting thing, but essentially, once I get into practice mode here, we're going to call an offensive play. Let's get formation. Let's go single back. Nothing terribly exciting. We're going to go single back. Do I have a vertical route in here? Doesn't really terribly. I'll do skinny post and I'll audible it. And then we're going to play a 4-3, and we're just going to do a cover 1. The main reason for this is I've got the speed threshold set at 75. The other thing I need to do is respot the ball. And we're going to go to, that's the 40. That should be the 50 right here. Okay. So we're going to do a 50-yard test here. Okay. And right now, not concerned with, actually, let me go ahead and pass block. Now it's going to take a little extra, but that's okay. So I got basically max, well, I'm going to go ahead and put max protect in. Just max protect. Okay. This is not a play that I'm going to design to do anything. All I want to do is with this set, I want to see, I'm testing speed essentially. So I'm not going to throw the ball. I'm just simply going to snap the ball, let the defense do what they may, try and avoid them as long as possible to give my receivers enough time to get from the 50 to the end zone and compare them against the cornerbacks they're going with as far as speed. So here we go. Okay, let's just dance around here, dance around here, dance around here. Okay, they've gotten the end zone. I'll throw the ball away. All right, so now main concern. Here we go. So instant replay. Now we get to the boring part. Okay, so let me see if my corners match up. First off, is this Bo Peep keys? Okay, so this is Bo Peep keys. Excuse me. This is my 87 speed corner versus 87 speed wide receiver. And then on the other side, nice thing, Paris Campbell, 94 speed wide receiver. with 94 speed Isaiah Rodgers. So in this particular setup with this run, what I like to do is I like to get down here, and I'm going to come right to here, and we're going to place level, basically field level replay. Give me just a second here. Da 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 da. Let me get. I was going to post my stream into the OMFL channel for those that may or may not want to watch it. Can I share this? Full screen. Nope. There we go. Share. Give me that. All right. All right. If anyone is bored and wants to watch some threshold testing, so exciting. Alrighty, so, oh well, no, I don't want to be watching. Okay, good. All right, go away, one watching. All right, so what I'm going to do here is, again, we start at the 50. This is going to be about a 50-yard run, and I'm essentially expecting with this threshold. I'm expecting Isaiah Rodgers. I'm expecting my two corners to be pretty much in lockstep with the wide receivers. Once they get to a point where they're running with each other, there should be little to no separation, because with the same speed, you should be seeing basically them reach their max speed. Acceleration may make a slight difference, but I just want to see, first off, is there any separation between the two? So let's go ahead and play it out. Okay, and let's come back. All right, so basically right about here. Now, Paris Campbell is still getting a bit of a jump, but to be fair, he's got about a 10-yard full throttle of steam, whereas Isaiah Rodgers is just getting his full throttle started at the 37-ish. So by the 27 right here, they are neck and neck at this point. And that's kind of where I'd like to see them stay at this speed threshold for pretty much the duration of this encounter. So I'd want to see little to no separation. So I should see about this much green for the next 20 or so yards. If there's any change where Campbell gets a burst or Rodgers gets a little bit extra green, then there's a little bit of an issue with the speed threshold as far as that goes. So let's see. I do. That's neck and neck. I mean, the only time it stops is, I believe, at this point I'm throwing the ball away. But yeah, 94 to 94, they're pretty much at the time I'd want us timing, which would be right about here, because at this point, Paris has had about 20 yards of free run, and Rodgers has just gotten his 10-yard burst going. So at this point, he's probably close to top speed as Rodgers, and Campbell's been at top speed. So at this point, they should be pretty close. And that, like I said, the only difference is the animation kind of kicks in where Rodgers kind of lets off the gas a little bit. Why, I don't know. But he lets off the gas a little bit at this point to let Paris Campbell run by. I guess once he hits the end zone, the AI kicks in and is like, hey, you can stop, because you pretty much, I mean, there's only 10 yards left. You can stop in front of him. So that looks like that's a pretty decent setup. So let's come over here, and this is 87 speed on 87 speed. So Pittman versus Bo Peep Keys, and about the same thing. Okay, right there, he's turning hips at the 39, which is about where, honestly, that's about where Rodgers is turning. So you can see the animation dependency kick in, because they're both basically in the same animation at this point at the 39-ish. So Bo Peep, I'm going to give to about the 29, right about here. So at this point, we should see pretty much the same thing as we saw on the other side if the speed threshold is nice, which is, yeah, not a lot of separation, not a lot of daylight, and then, yeah, the stoppage at the goal line for the AI. So essentially, it's a race to the goal line, and the corners do have a step, but they started with a step to begin with, so this is not anything that concerns me. So that looks pretty decent. So now what we need to do we're going to call, we're going to choose a new play, even though we're not going to choose a new play. Because I don't have both controllers on, stupidly enough, so I can't swap players on the defensive side, but I can do this on the offensive side, which is, brain fart. What am I doing? Let's see. I need packages. That's what I need. Can I flip wide receivers? Flip wide receivers. Wide receiver swap. Okay, so boom, skinny posts, and we're calling the same play, cover one hole. So there's basically no change. We're putting both guys on fly route. So again, we're going to be measuring the speed factor here. Go ahead and put everybody on pass block because man coverage, we'll have blitzers coming in, but that's okay. So we're now should be comparing Paris Campbell against Bo Peep Keys. So it's 94 on 87 and then 87 on 94. And we'll see if we get a little bit of difference. So here we go. Back away, back away, back away, back away, back away, back away, and throw it away because that's as much time as I'm going to get. Okay, so now we go to instant replay. And I'll do this a couple of times just to kind of get an idea of, we're like I said, we're at 75 speed threshold. So now, let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so probably expecting the same animation. Can't. So basically, he turns his hips at the 39, just like the other corner is. So basically, at about the roughly just past the 30, Bo Peep Keys should be in full speed. So give him about 10 yards. So right here, that's a pretty decent. That's about a. There's a as far as back to chest. That's what I'm measuring right here. So I'm going from Bo Peep Keys' back to Paris Campbell's chest. There's about a yard of separation between those at the 30. Now with the speed differential, I should see Paris Campbell start to pull away relatively quickly. Do I see that? Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That's beautiful. You can see every stride he's gaining, and by the 10, by the 5, he's basically where he was at the 30, he was behind that much. Now he's ahead that much. May not be as much as I would like, especially considering that's now we're 45 yards downfield. Now, to be fair, the race starts at about the 30. That's where I'm starting it at, is roughly the 30. And Bo Peep Keys has a yard gained here. So basically, he's got a yard advantage. And by the time we get to the 10, okay, we're just passing the 10. Paris Campbell is ahead of him. When does he actually pull away? So if I start at the 30, 30 is where we start the race, so to speak. By the 20, we're neck and neck. So 10 yards into this, quote, race, we're neck and neck. So at 10 yards, he's already basically made up the yard difference. And by the next 10, he's not quite got a yard of separation, but he's got at least at most a half yard. I'd give him a half yard of separation. And then by the 5, he's got a decent gap. And then by the time the corner stops, there's about a yard of separation. Probably would like to see a little more, especially considering this is a 30-yard race, and basically this is equivalent. I mean, at this point now, especially considering we have 50 yards we've ran, at the 45-yard mark, I mean, that's realistically, you're not going to see a whole lot of, unless you just get lucky, you're not going to see a whole lot of protection that'll protect you to that point. So you might want to see a little bit more separation, or would like to see a little bit more separation there between a 7-speed differential, essentially. You don't want to see a ton because it is a video game. And I'm going to look at some more. I want to run some more and see if it's the same throughout. Now let's flip to the other side here. Now this side, the wide receiver is the slower bet here. So let's get it to the 40. Okay, that's where he turns his hips, is basically at the 40. So this is essentially Isaiah Rodgers is beginning his march to top speed. And then at the 30, he's got actually probably a yard of separation, because right now Rodgers is at the 29 and Pittman is yet to cross the 30. And you could see him pigeon legging. You could see kind of the shorter strides. Like Pittman's basically taking his long, lanky strides, and Rodgers is trying to like shorten it up, but his speed is just carrying away. And by the 10-yard line, he's got 3 yards of separation right there. So the corner is spanking the slower wide receiver, which is kind of what you'd anticipate, especially with a 10-yard head start, because at this point, he's got about, at the 40-yard line when Rodgers starts, he's got about 3 yards of two yards of separation. Say Rodgers' back foot is on the 38. Pittman's just crossing the 40, so say 2 yards of separation. And then as we get to the 30, when Rodgers is kind of hitting top speed, Pittman has closed the gap and should have. But then as we get to the 20, that gap is widening. And by the 15, it's actually right back where it was at the 30 when we started. So, yeah. And then you can see him you can see the strides shorten up a little bit because he's trying to stay in coverage at the same time. So, yeah. So that's definitely a big win for the defense. But for the offense, that kind of concerns me because you would think you'd see the same amount of separation here, especially with Paris Campbell getting a decent start. But Bo Peep Keys actually manages to hold his own even at 87 speed versus – now, I'm not saying that Campbell's not getting away from him, but considering the differential between the two as far as Pittman versus Rodgers and Campbell versus Keys, that's a significant difference. You would expect to see Paris Campbell having a lot more separation than that, even with the 10-yard head start. You know, because right here he's getting the full speed. Bo Peep Keys is just starting. You'd think I would think it'd be a little bit shorter getting to that tie space, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, I would think there should be some more blowaway speed here. But let's run another play. Same thing. We're gonna go fly route. Oh shoot, hold on. Fly route. Actually, it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna let it run. I'm not gonna stop anything. So. Basically, our concern is essentially still the two outsides. Yes, the play is there. I'm not concerned with it. So, boom. Oh, shoot. Then I don't have time to even get down there. Dang it. Maybe I should have blocked. All right. Well, let's at least try and compare what we can there because that was terrible rep by the offensive line. All right. So, here we are again. This is still speed on slow. So, the wide receiver here. Same setup. Now here, Keys is hitting at the 40, right at the 40, and I'm not even to the 42 yet with Paris Campbell. So I'm wondering if the fact that I sent players out into the pattern this time made a difference in how Keys is reacting, because Keys is jumping it a little faster this time as far as getting started into his run. And he's got 2 yards of separation easily from Paris Campbell now. Oh, that was a big difference, though. If you look, like, within 10 yards, oh, yeah, that's huge. Okay. So, yeah, let's send guys into the pattern because that's the kind of breakaway I want to see. Because that's 10, that's 20, that's 30. I've still not seen enough breakaway. But at 40 yards, that's enough to where if I put that on a rope ahead of Paris Campbell, he is beating this guy. And you can see him slow down because I got tackled. So, like, whenever he pulls up, that's whenever I got tackled. And on the other side, is it the same pigeonhole effect here where Isaiah Rodgers kind of runs and pigeon toes his way down the field? So, slower wide receiver. Yeah, the break starts quicker. They transition their hips a lot quicker with others in the pattern. So I guess they assume that they can just, I don't know what the assumption is there, but anyway. So they take off, and now, I mean, okay, you step on the 35 as there's about a yard of separation in favor of the corner. And then he kind of just lets him get in his back pocket. He starts to pull away. So you can see him pulling away at this point until they pull up for the end of play. Okay, so let's run another one. Let's do it again. Let's do same thing. Same thing. We're going to let tight ends run in the pattern because that seemed to affect the cornerbacks. So let's get back here. Let's do something we wouldn't do in a regular game. Okay. I think they got far enough. I think I probably need to put Carson Wentz in the game for speed factor. Quite honestly, just so I can get away from pressure. So again, So, like I said, same thing. This is not going to be exciting stuff. So here we go. Okay, the transition's beginning right at the 40 again. So same animation, same foot plant at the 40. And this race starts at the 40 with Paris Campbell's currently at the 42. So 2 yards and change of separation. And by the 30, he's made up those 2 yards. That's something I like to see. I like to see that because at that point, Bo Peep Keys has just hit pretty much his full speed minus like acceleration checks and stuff. And obviously, Paris Campbell has been going full throttle since the 50. So 20 yards of full tilt versus 10. You want to see that guy that's been running 20 basically catch up because essentially he's got more of a chance to get up to top speed. Bo Peep Keys still might be getting to top speed, but being slower, and you can see every cycle he's pulling away slowly but surely. I'd like to see it be faster, but I mean, I'm okay with the gain here. So from 40 to 30, I like this. I like that from the 40 to the 30. So from 40 to 30, like Paris Campbell just zoom. He's there. He is neck and neck with Bo Peep now. But he doesn't continue that momentum. So let's say, okay, so 10, that's 20 yards for Campbell, 10 yards for Bo Peep, and then at the 20-yard mark for Bo Peep. So at this point, I'm going to assume Bo Peep has hit full speed. He is still pretty much neck and neck with him. There is some gain, though. There is some green in favor of Paris Campbell. So, and then by the 10, body-wise, torso-wise, there's a yard of separation. Legs, there's not. But torso, there's a yard of separation. There's a spot to throw the ball to there. And then obviously the corner's going to pull up at the goal line. But, I mean, by the time they hit the 5, he's got a yard or two of separation now. That's at 50 yards, though. I'd like to see that come a little quicker. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to exit out. And my broadcast may pause for a minute because I'm going to go into the menu to adjust the speed threshold. And then, so if I disappear for a minute, don't panic. I'm going to be right back. So here we go, game options. All right. Might let it go through in here. We'll see. Lower number creates a greater separation between the fastest and slowest players. So let's go the other way then. We had 75. Let's try 25. Let's try 25. Let's go completely the other direction. All right, this time though, what I want to do, I'm gonna go into rosters real quick. I want to sign a free agent, and what I think I might do is turn on another controller so I can play offense and defense and be able to swap guys. Who's the fastest wide receiver? Who's Rico Gafford? He's 96 overall, 96 speed. I've got 94s. 94 is a good enough tester, and 87 is a good enough tester too. We'll just work with that because baseline of 90 is about where you want to be. So let me go depth chart here. I'm going to put Wentz back in for speed purposes to kind of get away from pressure. And then we got Pittman. Let's do... I tell you what, let's do TY. I don't want to do TY yet. We'll do that in-game. Okay, let's do that in-game. Let's, do we have another 87 speed, corner? No, we got 88, which I'd rather do 87. Because that seems like a meh, but not bad, but not great speed rating. Kenny Moore's an 89. Rocky Sin's right at 90. So we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay. Okay. Back into exhibition. Back into practice mode. Oh, wrong way. Colts versus Colts again. And advanced settings. Yep. Okay. I'm not gonna turn on the second control. I'm just gonna do it this way. We're gonna test against our fastest corner and our slowest corner. And our fastest corner matches our fastest guy, and our slowest corner matches our slowest guy. So that works out. Let's go single back again. We'll go skinny posts. 4-3. Let's do cover one hole. Let's keep it, everything being the same. Let's respot the ball at the 40, at the 50. So another 50-yard test. This is with 25 speed, and right now my corners and my corners and wide receivers match speed wise. So I'll go in real quick and double check that. Speed -1. Speed -1, really? Okay, how's he -1 speed? I thought they were 87 speed, both of them, but whatever. Okay. So here we go. We're going to test, basically let them run the 50-yard route best I can. Okay, there we go. Because they'll keep running regardless of what I'm doing back here, so that's a good thing. So, all right, let's get the instant replay up here. All right, that is Bo Peep Keys still, right? I'm not hallucinating. Okay, Bo Peep Keys. I thought he was 87 speed. See, now that's throwing me off. Now I'm like, what the heck? Why is that coming up like that? A difference of 1. They should be identical. Okay, so let's get this. Okay, so in theory, you should basically make your drop step animation and turn your hips at the 40. Oh, he's doing it a little bit sooner. Actually, he's doing it a half yard sooner. He's turning at the 40 and a half is when he toe taps and begins his turn up the field. And yeah, that's no gain, no loss throughout. So basically, essentially, if anything, Bo Peep Keys is pulling away a little bit, but there is zero change here. So basically, it matches step for step, which is what I want. In this experiment, this is what I want. I want these guys, if the same speed versus the same speed, they should pretty much run neck and neck from the time they turn their hips and get going. So at here, it's about 3 yards. At closest he gains is a yard between chest and back, right here at the 30. So measuring Pittman's chest versus Bo Peep Keys' back, that's as close as he gets as a yard. And then it never gain. There's very little gain, if any, for Bo Peep Keys. It's mostly neck and neck. So that's what I want to see. That's good, though. That is good. And we'll run it one more time with everybody being the same to make sure we have. Because if this is different, then that's not good. So turn at the. Okay, he's turning at the 40. And then I'm going to gain to him at the 30. And at this point, yeah, it's about a yard of separation between the chests. So, okay, that's about right. Yard of separation between the two at the same speed. Hey, Kaylee. My kitty cat just came up here. Want some petting. All right, so let's do this one more time. And let's go ahead and call a fly route. Call a fly route. And then drop back. And just drop back. And just drop back. And oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, they're after me. Definitely not the most sim play you'll ever see, but I'm not going for simulation. I'm going for simulation, but not in quarterback drop back. I'm going for simulation to make sure these guys match up tit for tat. So here we go, Pittman again. So it's another toe tap at the 40 and a half. And the closest he gets at the 30 is about a yard-ish, maybe 2. It's about the same. Yep. It's about the same as it was the first one. Okay, so that's okay. So that's consistent. That's what I like, consistency. All right, let's get over here with Pittman. And I'm running 2 wide receivers, so that way I can just measure up against corners, the right corners and everything. I don't want to go more than 2 wide receivers, mainly because I don't want to throw nickel backs and change matchups and stuff. I want it to be kind of, be able to be measurable and repeatable. So, okay, Rodgers on Paris Campbell. Again, he turns at the 40. By the 30, they're about neck and neck. And they stay neck and neck throughout this rotation. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, let's call a new play, but not. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do packages, split the wide receivers, and we're gonna still do skinny posts, and we're doing cover one hole. And I'm doing cover one so that way I get man coverage. If you can't tell, I'm trying to test man coverage as far as how fast things go versus what they should. Now, I should +5 speed on the, okay, -6 speed on the right, +5 speed on the left. Okay, so in theory, left guy should be faster, right guy should be slower. Fair enough. Okay, they have reached the end zone. And there we go, throw it away. All right, so now this should be the tail of the tape right here. So according to EA, and that's taken with a grain of salt, with a speed threshold at 25 and Paris Campbell having a speed jump on Bo Peep keys, this should be a serious gain. In the previous thing, we had 75, and we saw at most, at the high end, I'd say a yard of separation. I'm hoping to see more separation here on this first snap. So here we go. Bo Peep keys turns his hips at the just about the 40. So by the 30, okay, this is the same as it was in the previous example. This is about the same where Campbell had caught Bo Peep keys by the 30. Now, what I want to see for these next 20 is I want to see Paris Campbell start to gain a serious amount of separation. I'd like to see by the 20, I would like to see a yard of separation. And by the 10, I'd like to say 2 or 3 yards, honestly, but we'll see where we get. Okay, by the 20, there's green, not as much as I was wanting, but there's green. And there we go. By the 10, there's where that, now, but bear in mind, that's 40 yards downfield. So while you may be thinking, well, you know, let me get to the 10 here. So by the 10, yeah, that's a pretty decent clip now at this point. So you might be thinking, well, that's 25 speed threshold, and that's going to be cheese factor. Well, the thing about that is you would think, well, you might be concerned with, cheese and speed kills and all that stuff, and that might be worrying you. But the thing to think about here, as we kind of let it flesh out here, basically there's 3. Jesus, look at that. I actually like that. I really, really like that. But the thing to keep in mind here is, first thing, he's getting a clean run off the line of scrimmage. First thing, okay? Second thing, by the time he gets down here to the 10 and starts to get this separation, let's just do this real quick, because let's come to Carson Wentz just for a second here, okay? And we'll let it play out at speed, and I'll kind of do a little head count. By the way, the only slider I've changed at all has been speed threshold. Everything else, player skill, CPU skill, is all at 50. There's no changes there. I am playing on all pro with competitive sliders. So keep that in mind. There is nothing there that's altered. So this pass rush is default pass rush on all pro competitive. And essentially the only thing I've tweaked with is speed threshold. And what I want to do is I want to take and find my phone real quick. Let me grab my phone. And I'm going to get my stopwatch out because I want to see. Okay. Alrighty. Let me grab my stopwatch. Reset. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this at regular speed. And I'm essentially wanting to see if Wentz realistically could have thrown the ball by the time I hit the 10-yard line. I realize I went stupid and did some unrealistic stuff, but I want to see if realistically the pass rush, as it is right now, would have gotten to me, realistically speaking, because I basically started taking off as soon as the pass rush started to get through. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I should do something else. All right, maybe that's not the wisest course of action, but let's do this. Let's go back to instant replay real quick. Oh, no. Come back. Exit. Instant replay. Okay, let me slide over here. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to time. Basically, this is going to be almost like a 40-yard dash time, really. I want to time from the time the ball is snapped to the time he hits the 10-yard line and has that separation, how fast that is. Or try to. Granted, it's by my own hand, so take it for what you will. And stop. 4.61. 4.61 seconds from the time the ball was snapped and he basically took off to the time he hits the 10-yard line. That's roughly about 43, 44 yards. That sounds actually about right if you consider it's not the true 40-yard dash, plus I'm timing it by hand. So it's probably around 4.6, 4.5 seconds, which for 43, 44 yards would be, slightly less for the 40. So, and it's 94 speed. So 4.4-ish. That sounds about right. So let's do this now. We're going to do another resume. This time we're going to go boom. Oh, come on. Seriously? Boom. Okay. This time, I'm going to try and attempt to throw, or at the very least, I'm going to stay in the pocket. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm going to wait. I'm throwing to Paris Campbell. That's the only one I'm throwing to. I'm not concerned with the result. I'm going to pause this real quick. I'm not concerned with whether or not it's an interception, whether or not it's a caught ball. That's not what I'm testing. I'm testing to see if somebody gets open. Number one, granted default settings, will I have enough time to throw the ball in a realistic setup? And number two, will he actually get that separation to the point where I can throw it to him? So that's basically what I'm testing here. Yes, he gets separation, but realistically, will I have enough time to wait for him to get that separation? Because if I don't have enough time to wait for him to get the separation is meaningless. So here we go. And I'm going to actually try and throw it to him when he crosses the 10-yard line. I may heave it at about the 15 and try and overthrow him. But I'm only throwing to Paris Campbell. There's no other read here. And see, look, boom. That wasn't even my best pass rusher interior-wise. And that was going against Quentin Nelson. So let's try this again. Again, the main thing I want to see is by the time he hits the 15-yard line, I'm going to let it go or try to let it go. Will I have enough time to even do that? Nope. Don't have enough time. Don't have enough time. So, does that mean that we need to increase the speed threshold to make him get that much separation that much faster where I might throw it faster? I don't think so. I think actually right there is actually pretty nice. And see, by the time I got loaded up to throw it, I got hit. Because unfortunately the animation kicks in for that longer throw. Alright, so here we go. Let's try this again. Shoot, I might just keep somebody in to block. My interior line, I'm supposed to be good. Come on, guys. Gee, willikers. Pass block. Okay. Unfortunately, that means an extra rusher because he's going to come in on rush. But let me see if I can get this. Nope. Like, by the time it got to a point where I could have thrown it, I was done. So, that tells me a couple things right there. Honestly, that tells me that at 25 speed threshold, that's not terrible. Okay? That's not terrible. Because essentially, by the time he gets some separation to the point where I could throw it, now I could anticipate him getting open, and I might try that in this next play or two, like the next couple of plays. Maybe knowing I had the speed advantage trying to overthrow him and see if he can get ahead. I'll try that now, just to test all my bases here, because I don't have enough time with the pressure I'm getting to wait for him to get open. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try, say about maybe the 30-yard line, because that's about the time whenever he hits and catches Bo Peep Keys. By the time he hits the 30, overthrow him and see if that is any better of a result. So boom. Oh, that's an overthrow. But that was successful. A successful result meaning that I got ahead of the defense and he pulled away from the defense. So that's something I want to see too. So boom. Nope. Dang it. Forrest Buckner, you're too good. I mean, I'm appreciative of it as the Colts owner, but come on now. You got to give me some time here, bro. This is a test. Loads up, throws it. He's getting ahead of the receiver. And again, the thing I'm not concerned with is the result so much. I'm concerned with if I throw it ahead, is it too much of a cheat? Now, 87, honestly, 87 cornerback is probably about as slow as I'm going to see at cornerback in the OMFL. Let's be realistic. 87 will probably be cut bait. Okay, so I'm really comparing a cornerback that's probably not going to be OMFL level as far as speed versus a wide receiver who has pretty decent speed at 94. That's getting close to elite level speed. So let's try it one more time. Let's try and anticipate the throw a little bit. You can see him pulling away. And if I anticipate it right, I can hit it. Which is not necessarily problematic. But to be fair, if you see that matchup, that should be something you try and exploit. So let's go here. Let's do this again. I had to throw it off my back foot. And that's going to be inaccurate. Which is fine. That's I don't have an elite quarterback in that regard. Okay. I really don't need to send Pittman on a run. I need to just stop sending Pittman. Oh, he threw it off his back foot. Yeah. Okay, that should get picked because that was a terrible throw. But that was pressure based. So, again, can I hit on this play? Yeah, but the thing is that if we test and run these pass rush sliders and we get these pass rush sliders right, because again, this is default against the CPU, I know. The CPU is not a good test for pass rush sliders. But if we get to a point where your front four, because that's all that's coming is this front four, there is nobody else coming. Okay? If we get to a point where the front four that's decent pass rushers, which I will say in my interior, just so you can see everything, I can at least show you the players that are playing on defense for me. So I've got Quiddy Pay, who's playing left defensive end, and I'm going to show you his rush moves and stuff here in just a second, as soon as I get to him. Okay, power move 73, finesse moves 58, block shed 73. Really, I'm more focused on these two right now, 73, 58. So meh pass rusher on the left edge. Right edge, I have Tyquan Lewis, who's going to be another, I believe he might be more finesse based, but still he's not a great rusher either. Okay, no, he is more power rush based. 77, 64. So a little bit better than Quiddy, but not much. I'd say he's slightly above average. Okay. And then inside, this is where I make my money. All right. Come on. Let's go faster. All right. Let's get to here. Okay. Grover Stewart is not my guy, but DeForest Buckner is a beast inside. So essentially, if this guy gets through more often than not, then I'm okay with that because he should get through more often than not. Every one of these other guys, Grover Stewart should not get through a ton on a pass rush, in my opinion. Every once in a while is fine, but consistently he shouldn't. DeForest Buckner should consistently get pressure. If the pass rush settings are good, he should consistently get pressure. Quiddy Pay is another guy who'd be every once in a while, and Tyquan Lewis, another one every once in a while, based on these ratings. So the only guy I should be concerned with as the offense is DeForest Buckner. Okay, going back to the streak routes. Again, I'm going to try and anticipate Campbell getting open and then hitting him. So here we go. Lob pass. This should be complete. Yeah. Okay. And I don't know if they called it or not, but still a completed pass. It was a successful result, regardless if it's incomplete because he's out of bounds. Successful completion. So now what I'm going to do next play, which is so not professional as far as counting as doing a stopwatch, but I'm also trying to play too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count it out loud. I'm going to count from the snap. I'm going to go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 until I either get hit or until I hit 4 seconds. Once I say 4, 1,000, I'm going to throw the ball. unless I'm getting hit. So kind of get an idea of how much time I have for this play to develop. So I'm going to give myself a max of 4 seconds to either throw the ball or take the sack. Okay. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1. See, didn't even hit 1,000. 4 seconds. That should be. I mean, it's a 4-man rush. That's right in that nice wheelhouse of 3 to 5 seconds, because I should have legitimately 3 to 5 seconds time, especially with an elite pass rusher there inside anywhere on that line. Any one person that's an elite pass rusher should keep the whole line around 3 seconds unless there's extra blockers, which right now I'm not doing extra blockers. It's just 5 on 4. I have an advantage, or should have an advantage, so it's just a matter of my offensive line executing at this point. I'm not keeping any tight ends block. Obviously, I would do it in a real game if I wanted to make sure I had max coverage for this, max protection. But in this setup, I want to see 4 on 5, 4 seconds, and then I'm going to try and throw it to Paris Campbell, who has the speed advantage. I know that coming out of the gate. So here we go. One more time. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. There we go. But off my back foot because of pressure, and that's going to get picked off. Yeah. Okay. And here we go again. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. I'm a slave to failure. So here we go. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Throw, and got caught by Tyquan Lewis. Come on, Eric Fisher. Block him. Jeez. Wait, is that Eric Fisher? I should probably check that on the offensive line. He might still be out with injury. No, it's him. Okay, he's back. All right, cool. All right, so I got my best offensive line out there from left to right. All right, so here we go once again. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Throw, and nope, not enough time. I could have maybe stepped up and gotten the extra second, but I mean, shoot, man, I wish user pass rush was this good, because I mean, this is actually not bad. About 4 seconds is what I anticipate having 4 on 5. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Throw, nope. And DeForest Buckner got the pressure. 4 seconds is a long time in the NFL to wait, too. So that's like, honestly, I should be throwing at 3, if you want to know the truth. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and I'm already getting pressure. But I did hit it that time, off the back foot. But yeah, 4 on 3, yeah, realistically, 4 seconds is still a bit much. I should be getting about 3 seconds of actual time in the pocket before I need to make a decision on throwing the ball. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. And it's inaccurate, but it is going to be nope, inaccurate, Alf. But I will say, based on actually trying to complete passes now, instead of just going tit for tat, just running down the field. And again, I'm not trying to, I'm not concerned with the pass rush sliders. I'm concerned kind of with time in the pocket only for this pass, because essentially what I'm attempting to do, I should not have more than about 3 seconds to do if we're going by real NFL numbers, because essentially, man up across the board, you're probably going to have some kind of free runner. And if it's straight man, either I need to take off with it as a quarterback, or I need to try and find my mismatches, which is what I'm doing right now. And I need to find it within about 3 seconds, and I need to hit it within about 3 seconds and hope the mismatch kicks in. So, all right, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so again, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's bolt it up there. There we go. And completed pass. And to me, that's actually okay to a certain extent. But now the question becomes, do I want that in my Madden game? Because essentially, you give a guy, I mean, I'm a terrible user. So if you give anybody that's worth their salt 3 seconds in the pocket and that kind of mismatch, they're going to score every time. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, overthrow. And that should be completed for a pass, yeah. So at this point now, while 25's speed threshold, I like from a standpoint of, yeah, it gives me a lot of separation. Now, adding in the mix of throwing the ball and completing passes, it almost feels now like too much separation. Because while I can understand the thought process of wanting to be able to beat somebody if they make a mistake, that thought process shouldn't be every single time. Like, it shouldn't work every single time. And unfortunately, with the way that Madden works, if that speed matchup happens every time, that result happens every time. So basically, you know, if I have 3 seconds in the pocket, because that's what I was basically counting out at that point, with 25 speed parity, if I have 3 seconds in the pocket and they're not playing press coverage, that's a one-play touchdown, and that shouldn't be the case every single time. If I put a mismatch out there, there should be times whenever that doesn't work. But unfortunately, with the way Madden works and operates, that's not the way it happens. So let me go back to 75, the original number, and what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put the same mismatch, and I'm going to try the same throw, same timing, same everything, and see if there's any more separation. Because my thought process is on this is, yeah, I want speed to matter, but I still want, because in the real NFL, you're not going to have 3-4 yards of separation unless you watch week 1 of the NFL, which don't. But in realistically speaking, you know, when all things considered, you should not have that much space. As an offensive player, you should not have that much space ever unless something got botched. So 40, 50 right here. Go 50. And we're going to do the same test. This is 75 speed threshold. We have flipped the wide receivers. So Paris Campbell should have the speed advantage on Bo Peep Keys. And really, I'm not concerned with Pittman. Basically, Paris Campbell is the source of this experiment, essentially. We're going to do the same thing, 3 seconds and throw, and I'm going to try and lead him into the end zone. So here we go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. Okay, now, I want to do it again. I want to get a kind of a nice test of number of plays here. I kind of want to see how we look. Oh shoot, I forgot to count it off. Whoops. I don't know if that's 3 seconds or not. Okay. See, already I like that setup. Because in the first play, I did dance around a little more. So I'm trying to keep it as close as possible so I can get some accurate numbers here, accurate results. But in the first one, I danced a little bit, and I may have been off a little bit, and that allowed the defender to catch up. But the defender caught up in the first one where he never did in any of the other ones. So let me try it again. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. Off his back foot, not a great throw. Out of bounds anyway. So that's a bad throw, unfortunately. But I think that was partly because of pressure, which is fine. Okay. Same thing. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. Okay, inaccurate. That edge pressure is making Wentz rattled, man. Come on, Wentz. You got to do better than that. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. Okay, that's set, feet set. Good completion. Good completion. So far we've had a couple of overthrows, an interception, and a couple of touchdowns completions. Okay, that's pretty good. So 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. Okay, I was off my back foot. That's going to give my defender time to catch up. Another interception. Okay. So within 3 seconds, if I get pressure with Wentz anyway, you know, because of his reaction to pressure, if he throws it off his back foot, it's an interception, which I'm okay with because that's a bad throw. A bad throw should result in a bad play. Okay? Doesn't necessarily have to be an interception, but it should result in a bad play. The one thing I don't like is the fact that the darn CPU catches everything thrown at him. I may have to turn down interceptions for the CPU, but I'm not going to do it because I want to keep everything. Just want to kind of test just the play as far as how it operates. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. Nope, got hit, which is fine. just fine. If I could get pass rush sliders user v user online to this level, I would be quite happy with that. I honestly would. Because I do, for the Colts, I do have that elite pass rusher in Buckner. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Nope. Grover Stewart got it that time. Nice job, Grover, with your 73 pass rush moves. So see, now I'm not even getting the time to throw the ball out, and I'm only counting to 3. So I'm basically giving myself 3 seconds in the pocket. I'm not even getting that much time. And my O-line, just to show you, I dare say is one of the best in the game, honestly, coming out of the box. My left tackle isn't great, but 74 overall, if you compare that to most left tackles, there aren't that many that are worse than a 74 overall. And then the top left guard, Quentin Nelson, because he's my boy. Yeah, I'm going to love him. Ryan Kelly, 87 overall, top 10, I believe top 12 center maybe. Top 10 or top 12. Glowinski's in the top 15 as far as guards. Now he's a little older, but he's still top 15 at right guard, and then one of the top 10 or 12 at right tackle. So I have an offensive line that can block. So I'm not saying that I should be blocking them for longer. I actually like this. Were like this in user v user, I'd be okay with it right now the way it is with the way they're doing. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. I'm okay with that with this Colts team because I don't have a lot of good pass rushers. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, boom. And see, that's okay by me. And this is going to be okay. He didn't break it up, but he was right there with him, which again I'm okay with to a certain extent. Because if I can throw him open, I can create the separation, which is what I did. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, boom. Okay, inaccurate from pressure and overthrown. Okay, let's go ahead and throw it again. Again, just counting to 3. He's leading the receiver, so I'm leading the receiver downfield. 3, I didn't count this off. I did not count this off. It's underthrown too, so that's a pick. That's a pick. Okay, let's count it off this time. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Nice pocket. That should be a touchdown. Oh, that I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. It frustrates me from the offensive standpoint, but that's actually a good result. Because I want the defender, even if he's behind, to have a chance to make a play. And that's not a great corner in Bo Peep Keys. He's the worst corner on my team, but he's also the slowest. So he makes up for being the worst by being the slowest. So that's not going to, I mean, he's not going to be a good coverage guy. But if he has a chance to knock a ball out every once in a while, I'm okay with that. Actually, both these corners are two of the lesser quality corners on my team. So 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, and boop. Overthrown. And, yep. So, what does that mean? What does all this mean? I feel like while 25 speed parity creates more separation back here, I feel like between that and the ability for you as the quarterback to overthrow and have them basically kick it to another gear, I think those two things together mean you need to keep the speed threshold a little higher, so that way guys are kind of running more with each other. Because in real life you would want to see more separation, clearly, but in Madden the way it works is when I lead this guy, he gets a bit of a boost. Because let's turn back to Carson Wentz here. So he is letting the ball go at the 30. And I want you to note, I am a good yard behind Bo Peep Keys at this point, even with the speed increase. And then suddenly in like 5 yards, I go from being a yard behind to a yard ahead in 10 yards. That's kind of quick, and that's partly because the ball's in the air. So he's making more of an effort to go at it. Okay? And that's part of the Madden animation trick. Whenever you lead a guy, they get a little bit of a speed burst to go get the ball. So I'm actually okay with 75 right here. I'm actually I'm thinking what I'm going to do. One last thing before I stop. I think I'm going to try a little bit higher, actually. I think I want to try... I'm going to go a little crazy here. Game options. Let's go to 95. Not quite 100. Not quite 100. Okay. Go exhibition, practice. Normal. Let's go Colts. Oh, no. Cowboys. No. Colts versus Colts. Let's go ahead and get in here. And we're going to do the same thing again. So, same difference. Single back, skinny post, 4-3, cover one hole. Respotted at the 50. Or close to the 50s I can get. And then here we go. So let's get... Oh shoot, I forgot to flip the wide receivers. Well, let's do one like this. Let's do one like this, and let's just let's try and see if we can throw somebody open. Because right now at this point, oh, come on, stay up. Can I? Oh, right stick. -1 there, even up there. Okay, so boom, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Oh, killed. All right. Let's go ahead and call the timeout. Let's back up a spot. Let's go ahead and flip the wide receivers. Skinny post, cover one hole. So again, same thing. So just to show you, speed +5. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Hey! That is an underthrow. That's probably a pick. Or a drop. I'm okay with a drop too. I am okay with a drop. Alright, let's get both of these guys on streaks. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Hey! Throw it way out there. Okay. So, let's do it again. Because ideally what I'd like to see out of this is after 3 seconds, I'd like to see, honestly, about 50-50. I'd like to see 50% pass breakup, 50% catch by the offense. And that 50% for defense wins can be split between interceptions and knockouts. I'd prefer more knockouts than interceptions. I don't want every throw downfield to be an interception, but I don't want everyone to be a swat down either. I want kind of a mix. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, throw! And that is going to be overthrown, which is also fine. It's not a win for the defense. I'm basically only counting accurate passes here as far as defense versus offense wins. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Hey, there we go. That looks good. That looks good. And that's Paris Campbell with a 50-50 win. Okay. I think it's still a little tight on the coverage, but I want guys to be able to make a play on it. I want them to be able to make a play on it. Maybe could turn it down a little bit. Well, I don't know what I was thinking there. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, throw. That's a lob pass that is accurate. And that is a breakup by the defense. I feel like now Bo Peep Keys is actually too close to him. I feel like 75, maybe a little bit higher than 75, but not quite 95. I think 95 is too much. 75 felt a little bit still too much in Campbell in the offense's favor. I felt like I was able to complete too many passes that way. So let's do this again. I didn't really count it off, and it's inaccurate anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's try a couple more, see if we can get a couple more successes as far as not being inaccurate. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Hey, off the back foot, lovely. That's going to be a catch. Okay, got a catch. And who knows, maybe 95 will work. I just feel like Bo Peep Keys is really in his hip pocket too much. At this point, I'd like to see a little bit more separation, but if the lack of separation creates it to where it's a 50-50 ball, I can live with it even though it's not realistic. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Hey, you got tackled. Sacked. Couldn't even get 3 seconds for me, guys. I didn't even run out of the pocket or anything. Golly. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Throw! Uh-oh. That's going to be a pick. That's all right. Underthrew it. I knew as soon as I threw it and it didn't hit the back of the end zone, I knew it was going to be ugly. So, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, throw. All right, can he get it? He caught it and he held on to it. I think 75 is pretty close. I think we need to be closer to 75 than where I'm at 95. I think 95 is a little bit extreme. If you want to know the truth. There we go. All right. You see a little shifting and warping there by the defense. But I'm still seeing a lot more success for the offense than I am the defense. I've seen a few of them in a row that, barring an underthrow, I've seen the offense win more than the defense. 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Nope. I saw him break it, and I'm like, damn it, I can't do anything about that. I can be happy for my defense, but 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Hey! OP Keys is right in his back pocket. Still can't knock it out. But again, that's like, okay, at what point do I determine that it's the lack of skills by the corner versus the lack of speed of the corner? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually edit the depth chart of the Colts defense. Keep the same speed threshold of 95 right now. And I'm going to edit my depth chart for the defense. Corners. I'm going to actually put in, should I put in my top 2? Yeah, I'm going to put in my top 2 because at this point I'm not concerned with speed. But what I am going to do is I'm going to test a little theory here, because what I want to do is I'm going to put out T.Y. Hilton. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put 2 speedsters, quote speedsters, out there. Nice thing about offense is I can change that on the fly, so that's not as big a deal as changing the defense. I could just stop being lazy and just fire up another controller, but I'm being lazy, so I'm not firing up another controller. Alright, get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Alright. Formation, single back, skinny post, 4-3, cover 1 hole. And this time we're just going to back the ball up to the 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this time, both of my wide receivers have a speed advantage, but the one on the left, T.Y. Hilton, has only a slight. Campbell has a slight bit better. How is it just +3? It's 89 to 89. How are you? Whatever. Whatever, Madden. Whatever. It's supposed to be +5 on that outside, but whatever. All right, so I'm still going to do the 3-second count, but I'm going to try and alternate between the two because there is a slight bit of speed differential between the two, 3 and 2, but both players have the advantage now. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Oh, Jesus, no. That's not happening. Man, the interior just broke away quick. All right. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's throw it to the right. Knocked away. I'm not going to really count out of bounds at this point because I'm really just testing to see if I get a successful result, regardless of the fact if it goes out of bounds, because essentially at this point I'm treating it as if I'm at my own 1 yard line. I don't want to back it up to the 1, but I want to treat it as such. So basically I'm going to treat anything out of bounds but caught as an offensive win because I want them to see, I want to see if they catch the ball or not. Because guys are going to try this from 60 and 70 yards out, so 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Hey, got knocked down. Nice job, DeForest. I gotta stop calling you Brinston. That's an old reference to Steelers people. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let it go. He is might be too much. I think 95 might be too much. Because now that I'm comparing more close speed guys, 95 speed threshold is becoming ridiculous. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Throw! Off the back foot, so this is going to be ugly. Okay.
Go. 280! 357!
Alright, there we go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's overthrow him. Knocked out.
There we go, backman. 180!
Okay. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's. Oh, not hitting TY with that.
Here we go. 280! 81!
Alright, let's try it again. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Nope, gonna get killed again. Man, God, I do wish the pass rush was this good in user v user. 3 seconds at this point would be that'd be nice. Have to read the field fast and react fast. Now obviously I'm not trying to do any sort of read drill or anything. I'm focused on doing one particular thing. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's lift it up there. Uh-oh. Yeah. Xavier Rhodes with the intercept. I feel like 95 is too much. Like, it really is too much. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's... Oh, geez, that's a terrible throw. Yeah, that's a terrible throw. Alright, 95 is definitely too much. Maybe do 80? Let's try 80. Let's try 80. 80. Let's do 80. Boop. Settings, game options. 80. Because 75 felt pretty decent, but let's just try a little bit ratcheting it up to 80. And then if 80 doesn't feel right, then 75 is probably going to be the best way to go. As far as getting the separation, but also maintaining the ability for a defense to make a play, especially with... Now, I know I'm calling man coverage, but especially with zones being as trash as they are, having the ability to have the corner or safety be able to make up something, make up speed, hopefully, that would be nice to have as a fallback. And with speed threshold being a little higher and keeping the difference in check, I think that would help a little bit. See, single back, skinny posts, 4-3, cover 1. And I forgot to change where we're going. Respot the ball. 40, 50. There we go. Boop. Close enough to the 50. Okay. So still got my top corners in for the Colts. For the Colts. Keep that in mind. Just to see if they knock more balls out, because the guys I had in before, speed-wise, they worked for that test, but as far as coverage-wise, they weren't the greatest. So now we're kind of testing speed threshold and coverage as far as, are deep balls too easy to hit, especially with zones being as bad as they are. Again, I know I'm in man, but just kind of trying to see if it would benefit us to have that higher speed threshold to make sure big plays are still able to happen, but not at a stupidly high frequency. All right, so I did change. Yep, you're on a fly route. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Oh, got killed by DeForest Buckner. Man, again, like I know I keep saying it, but man, this pass rush, this would be nice to have in OMFL online user v user. If this pass rush was like this, I think that would be perfect with the speed threshold and stuff we have. If we get pass rush like this, that would be ideal. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Throw it! Oh, it's off kilter anyway. Alright, here we go again. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let's throw it to you this time. Alright, knocked away by Kenny Moore. Alright, good deal. Defense, good job. And he did keep decent pace with him too, so that's another good thing with it, but this is at 80. So, at 80. That's we're doing 75 right now test wise, so we'll see what happens. But I mean, if I can make these plays happen again at close to a 50-50 clip, then that will be satisfactory for me. Because again, with our no switch rules, unless the guy is using the corner or using the safety to get over there, it's pretty much going to be just like what I'm doing right here. So 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Let's try and hit TY. He's our best receiver. And he caught it. My not so good wide receiver dropped it. So again, that kind of everything's kind of starting to work in tandem as far as comparing these things, but that's why I'm going to do a couple of these things. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000 throw. That's off the back foot. That's a terrible throw. Please just at least stop them from intercepting it. That's, yeah. Nope. Well, I'm not changing the play. All right. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Let's throw it that way. Okay. Okay, he hangs on to that one. And see, this, I'm honestly, I'm okay with like 80, 75 to 80 as far as speed threshold. I feel like that's a pretty nice little buffer point because the guys are getting separation. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, boom. But the corners are able to make a play. So I think I'm about done with speed threshold testing. I think I've bored people enough if they've bothered to watch this. Yeah, I think right now we're at, what did I do? Exit out? Yeah, exit out. Okay. I think right now where the leagues are sitting at as far as 75 is pretty decent. I'd probably go no lower than 70 with speed parity and definitely go no higher than 80. So I feel like we're right in that wheelhouse of being pretty decent as far as where our parity scale is. Because while we do want separation, we don't want separation to the point where it's one play touchdowns and it's basically everybody scores 50 points a game because we have no pass rush. So unless we get pass rush dialed in, I think somewhere between 70 and 80 would be perfect. I know right now we're at 75, but I think if we went to 70, that wouldn't be too bad either. So I think we're pretty close on speed parity, just between blind testing and just letting them run. Just letting them run, I'd want lower speed parity because they'd get better separation. But when you throw the actual throws into the mix and being able to lead receivers and the boost that a wide receiver gets whenever you overthrow it a little bit, when you're accurate and you overthrow it, I think having the higher speed parity helps the corners at least keep up a little bit. And I know some guys will be like, well, that's not very realistic having a 87 speed corner keep up with a 94 wide receiver. Yeah, I can see that point. I can see that point. But then again, we are playing a video game. And in real life, I mean, we kind of use the speed as like a 40-yard dash time. When guys do the 40-yard dash at the combine, they're pretty much in gym shorts and nothing else. They got track shoes on, and they're pretty much in a sprinter stance. So speed to me, anyway, is important in Madden, but it's more indicative of play on the field speed. And some guys do play faster on the field than what their 40 time might suggest. So that's kind of where I would explain how a slower corner can keep up with a faster wide receiver. Would it happen every play? No, it shouldn't. But in Madden it will because, well, Madden's garbage. We know this. That's why we're having to play with this stuff. But I think right now between 70 and 80 is our sweet spot. I'll tinker later on with some stuff. I don't want to tinker too much with any sliders involving pass rush, especially offline. Mainly because the CPU cheats like a mad mofo. So there's no point in testing any sort of sliders against the CPU unless you're testing for strictly playing against the CPU. And since we're a 32-man league, we're not planning on doing that. I don't see any reason why we should, unless we're doing tests for like fatigue, doing tests for how players progress from season to season, regression, kind of seeing and getting ideas of how that stuff tracks. That's really the only thing where I would trust a CPU simulation, and even then with EA simulation, it would be doubting Thomas at best. But like stuff like pass rush, anything where you're actually in the game playing game to game, to me, it's just that's really, really tough because the CPU cheats and the CPU gets some advantages that and can make flips and adjustments like you wouldn't believe. As far as for us, we have to flick a stick to do any user moves. For the computer, it's just, does it work or not? That's pretty much the way it works. So whereas the user aspect kind of adds a little bit more skill into it, against the CPU just either decides, yep, I'm doing it, or nope, I'm not doing it, and you're just stuck with either one. So I think right now, from a speed threshold standpoint, I feel like 75 is a pretty good spot. I'd probably consider, if it were me and I was the boss for the day or boss for the year, I'd probably suggest dropping it to 70 and kind of playing with that, because I do think that would satisfy your separation guys that want that separation, but it also makes sure that not every time that they get separation, there's a big play going to happen, because it keeps the corners within range to make a play, but still be realistic that if you have a good quarterback, you have a good wide receiver, you can pretty much pinpoint to where that receiver can catch that ball more often than not. And that should be how it should be. The better rated players should win out in the end. But I think in this case, I think we got to do our speed parity right there at 70. So I'm done for now. So I'm gonna log out of here. Bye.